Hi again in QuickBooks online course. And this is the second video in expenses, assets, and inventory. In the first video, we discussed cash expenses and purchases. Today we are going to explain purchases or procedures of processing expenses, fixed assets, and inventory paid later than the date of receiving services, assets, and goods. In these cases, we should create bill to reflect the accurate effect of financial reports. Before going deeply into processing bills, let's explain the purchases cycle. As you see here in this graph, purchasing subsystem start, starts with the point uh, of purchase order. We prepare purchase order when the quantity of any item reached to minimum level or what we called reorder point. If purchase order accepted, this means our vendor have the items and a quantity required. Then goods or services should be received to our company. In this case, when we receive services and goods, normally it will be with a bill related, included all the details related to this purchasing transaction. In this case, we need to create a bill. If there is a returns, vendor credit should be required, but because return made before payment, in this case we don't need to make refund. Then after making returns, so here we arrive to this point to make a payment and a due date for the bill. Every bill have a due date. For example, a due date could be after 15 days or 30 days or 45 days. So at a due date, you should make a payment for that bill. After payment, if the returns performed or if the returns uh, return back to our vendor after payment date, in this case we should make a refund to get our money from our vendor. The money here in this case will be related only to the quantity returned to our vendor. That's all for the purchasing cycle, uh, and now let's see the example for that cycle. So here company received goods and bill number, term 45 days, from a click company contains the following details. This is the items which we received from our vendor. Here we have to say that you can perform each step in this cycle separately. You can perform each from these processing or these transactions separately. That means you can make a bill without making purchase order, but you cannot make a payment without bill. So that's what we mean. You can perform some duties or some activities or preparing some documents from this cycle separately, and you can complete your work without needing other uh, document. And also here you have to know that some of that documents classified as accounting document. What we mean by accounting document, that this document will create accounting journal, and accounting journal will affect accounts in a chart of accounts, like bill. It will affect our accounting or our accounts in chart of accounts. Return also, payment the same. But when we talking about purchase order, the purchase order will not affect our financial statements and our accounts before transferring from purchase order to bill. So if purchase order transfer to bill, in this case our accounts will be affected by this transaction. So here let's take two examples. The first one, to make directly a bill. As in this example, we received goods or inventory here, iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro Max, and other items, and in this quantity and the cost and sale price. So how we can uh, first of all, let's say that we have to make or to create a bill because the payment will be later than the date of the transaction. We will pay money after 45 days. For that, we choose to uh, create a bill and not an expense. Let's go to a QuickBooks and to see how we can make a bill in a QuickBooks. From here, expenses menu, we go to expenses menu and it choose or select bills. After we choose bills, we have to go here and click click and choose create bill. When choosing bill or create bill, you will have this screen. The first thing here is to identify your vendor. In our case, or in our example, I think we're talking about a click company. The terms here, we have 45 days, and we haven't in this list this period. For that, you can add here, click add new, and easily you can identify required name net. Okay, and days, we have a due in fixed number of days, 45, and click save. So in this case, we have a new category or a new term, net 45. Bill date, for example, we have the bill related to this date, and automatically the QuickBooks system identify due date according to the terms which entered here. If we change, the date will be changed here. So turn back and choose 45. The bill number is a very important data, should be entered here, and I think this one is the number of the bill, and okay. Scrolling down, and as normal, if we processing bill for expenses or fixed assets, we will provide all the information required in category details section. And if we talking about or processing transaction related to inventory, so you have to go for item section and fill all the required data. In our example, we talking about items related to inventory. For that, we will go to item section and begin to prepare or to fill the required things, the required details. Here we have to choose, I think, let's return back to see iPhone 16. Okay, iPhone 16. I think it's not in the list. For that, you can click add new and add this new item as we did before. I think it's easy now. And service and inventory item, a category, I think we make categories before. iPhone, I think here we have to choose iPhone to be under iPhone category, and also here 0, and we can choose yesterday date. After that, selling and purchasing. Actually, I have to return back to identify. Okay, okay. Now go and save and close. Okay, save and close here. The quantity, okay, 15 units, okay. And also here we have to go to the second line and choose the second item. Here the second item related to iPhone 16 Pro. I think there is no item in this name. For that we click add new and choose okay, and here also choose inventory item and also in iPhone category. Here also 0, the date before 1 day, and price, I think the cost here, the cost 1000. Okay, and okay, I think now we fill all necessary details, so we save. And the quantity 10 units here. Okay, move for the third line and choose, I think we have iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay, we can choose it. And okay, 12, 12, and okay, let's move to the last line. I think it's last or not. Yes, iPhone accessories. Okay, here I think we don't have this item before. For that, click new and we have to identify the type and category. Here we can make it general because it's not related to iPhone actually, and also 0, 1 day before, and the prices, I think yes, 12, 20, 12, 25, and save and close. The quantity also here, the quantity I think we're talking about 100. Okay, 112. Okay, I think here we all the details related to this bill we entered. I think we have to go here and save and close. Yeah, the bill was saved. And let's have a look at the bills screen now. As you see, bills are classified to 3 categories for review: unpaid and paid. Unpaid, we still don't pay the amount related to this bill to our vendor. Paid, we already paid for our vendor. So that's it, which related to the bills, and this is related to our example. What's next? The company returned 12 defected units from iPhone accessories item. So here we have to make vendor credit. How we can make vendor credit? We can make vendor credit from a new here, and vendor credit we have to choose what? We have to choose our vendor, click company, and also you have to go down and identify the product or the item. I think we're talking about accessories. iPhone accessories, and here the quantity which we have to to return to our vendor, I think 12, and here we have to make save and close. Yeah, vendor credit saved. Let's return to products and services and see if return the quantity deducted from the total quantity available for accessories or not. For that we have to go down, accessories, as you see here in the bill the quantity is 100, was 100, and now we have 88 units. That means that the vendor credits for 12 units deducted from the total amount, and this quantity is the net quantity available in our stores. Okay, let's return back to our example. Again, how we can make purchase order. The purchase order we can make it as follow. This is the details. The company sent a purchase order to High Speed Company, contains the following items. This is related to iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro Max, and this is the details for quantity and costs of that items. So, turn back to QuickBooks, and from here we click New and Vendors. Under vendors, we select purchase order. Click purchase order. Choose the vendor name. I think here. Purchase High Speed Company. Okay. It's not in our list, so easily we can click here and add our vendor name and save. Okay. Okay, speak. Okay, purchase order. Uh, Here, purchase order status, and if there is an email shipped to, if you directly you want to send the quantity and items to your customer, you can choose your customer from here, the date of the order, and ship via if you have any details. So here purchase order. Also, in our example, we talking about expenses or items. We talking about items here. So we go to item section and uh, fill all the required details. So products, I think we have the products 14, iPhone 14. I think so. 14, yes. And the quantity, I think 8 or no, 8. 8, okay. The price, okay. The second line, we choose iPhone Pro Max 14, okay. And the quantity, have to fill it 5 units. And the price, okay. What else? There is nothing else now, so we go to save and choose a close. Yes. As you see here, the purchase order doesn't affect the quantity available for sale, because until now we cannot classify it as financial transaction. Why? Because purchase order don't affect any of accounts in a chart of accounts. For that, there is no effect for purchase order till it transferred to bill. So let's have a look here from expenses. As you see here, after uh, choosing or selecting expenses, we have this list: expenses, bills, vendors, contractors, and etc. Here, if we choose or select vendors, we have 4 categories. The first one included what? Purchase order, and the number here means that we have one purchase order only in this category. And unpaid last, yes, there is no one. Open bill, one open bill. This bill related to the bill which we recorded before. And for paid last 30 days, this is related to the expenses which we paid cash or by bank. You can click anyone to see the details. For example, purchase order. Click purchase order. Here we have one purchase order for Speed Company, and easily, if you want, after you send this purchase order to your vendor and receive an approval and after receiving approval, you have to receive your goods or services from your vendors, and normally bills will attached with the goods or services. After you receive your bill and goods, in this case you can access your purchase order, and from here you can click here to create a bill. So here you can create a bill. If we clicking this means that we are going to change or to transfer uh, a purchase order to a bill. And look here, add all bill. If you want to add all the details in the purchase order to your bill, so you only click here add all, and all the details which related to your purchase order will be imported here in your bill, as you see here. And you only need to check and make a control for these details, and after that you can make save and close. If there is uh, a number, and it's normally it has a number, and such as that we have 774 and terms. Here you can choose the terms, for example 60 days, and uh, other details. I think all the required details are entered now, and you can go here and save and close. So now you transfer purchase order from purchase order to and to bill. So look and note the following. Before we transfer the purchase order to a bill, we have one purchase order. Now we have zero purchase order, and here before we had one open bills, now we have two open bills. So if we click here, we have two bills. The bill which related to, sorry, open bill, yes. The bill which related to high speed, here we have high speed company, and this is the amount required to this vendor. In the due date, after 60 days, you can make a payment. Click here for this in a due date, not now. After 2 months from now, this bill will be due. For that, you can make a payment or make payment for that bill, and you have to choose the method of payment. For example, from Arab Islamic Bank, and here you need to pay all the amount which related to your bill. Automatically the amount appear here, and you can save and close. Yeah. The payment was dead. So this bill moved from open bills to paid bills. So it will be listed here. In this list, you have high speed, this, and open balance is 0. So because we fully paid the amount due to our vendor, for that the balance for our vendor which related to this bill is 0 now. Now let's have a look at the balance sheet reports. When we looking at balance sheet, we see all the details which entered before. That details related to uh, opening balances for the balance sheet and all the other financial transactions. It listed here, and it identify the financial position for our company. So thanks a lot till here. See you next tutorial.